Secretary of State Mike Pompeo revealing the Chinese consulate in New York is a major hub for spies in the U.S. The secretary telling the New York Post the Chinese Communist Party is, quote, engaged in activities where they're crossing the line from normal diplomacy to the kinds of things that would be more akin to what spies are doing. This comes just days after an NYPD cop was charged with serving as a secret agent of China. We've been watching this guy for a while. Here to react, Fox News senior strategic analyst, retired four-star General Jack Keane. General, do you think we just found out about this, or we just bring this out now?
Well, we've known this for some time. I think what's really happening here is that Secretary Pompeo wants to alert, as the intelligence agencies have been doing, certainly, our local government, our local authorities, what's taking place. But because they're actually moving not just with state officials, but into parent-teachers associations, that's not something that would be normal traffic that they would receive, certainly. So that's why the public pronouncements are here. And what this is, so our folks can understand this, you know, Russia tries to disrupt our elections, actually interfere with the process, create chaos, undermine democracy. What China is doing is more about a positive footnote for China itself, trying to put China in a good light. They're not involved in the election process and trying to disrupt it, but they are involved in purporting what's good for China's national interest, and that's what this is about. It's so pervasive, and they have a very comprehensive plan to do everything. One, to steal our technology, to steal our secrets, and also, as we're seeing here, to have an influence campaign to affect American public opinion and create a favorable view of China.
I mean, for a guy to be the NYPD with a Marine background to try to get inside the American Tibetan community while his whole family is involved with the Chinese Communist, the Liberation Army, is just unbelievable that was happening in New York. And we're cracking down in Houston. Hope they're getting the message about the theft of intellectual property. At least we're pushing back now. Let's fast forward to Iran. You were saying stuff about when the execution of this wrestler, who is a national hero because he participated in protests against the government along with thousands of others, was meant to send a message. And we're coming back with sanctions on that country because of it. What message are we sending back?
Yeah, well, this is very tragic, and people don't recognize just how repressive this regime is internally, and what goes on day in and day out in Iran. In the last year alone, this wrestler is one of 1,500 people that have been killed by the regime, murdered, sometimes put into prison, tortured like he was, and then killed in that prison. They have 12,000 people that they have put in jail in the last year as a result of protest movements or opinions against the regime. They have killed, since they took over, in their own people who repress against them and who have the courage to protest against them, close to 120,000. That's what this is really about. And, you know, they have this in common with China and Russia. Any criticism whatsoever, they're super sensitive about it because they know it's so damaging to their moral authority in running the regime.
So they're also got individuals, too, against the judge who did that. So what happened with you? You've been a critic of Iran, and the intelligence that you have and the stories you bring forward are making a difference. How do I know? What did the FBI inform you about what Iran's doing to you?
Oh, yeah, well, you know, I've been involved with the FBI and Iranians for about 8 years. When I called for Qasem Soleimani's to be targeted along with the Quds Force, similar to Osama bin Laden and the al-Qaeda back in 2011 in congressional testimony, they got in all of my emails, see if they could find something to discredit me, try to disrupt my international travel. And recently, along with other government officials and other people, U.S. government officials and others who speak out against the regime, you know, they had, you know, a trumped-up trial and found us guilty of crimes against the Iranian regime. This is another indication of how sensitive they are. Hey, look at me. I'm a retired guy from the United States military who has a voice in America dealing with foreign policy and national security on somewhat of a scale, and they're troubled by that. And that's how sensitive they are. And that is why speaking out against this regime really matters.
Absolutely. And you struck a nerve because of the power you have and the respect you have in foreign policy circles and military circles. General, thanks so much for your time.
Good talking to you, Brian.